What's up, y'all? Welcome back, Tapealert, hottest in the city. Today's guest, we got a special guest today. We got the brother Champ in the building. What's up, Champ?
What's good? What's good, my brother?
Nothing much, man. How you doing? How you feeling?
I feel good. I feel blessed, happy to be free, alive, and being able to have something to offer.
Oh, okay. You know, where you from and who's Champ?
So originally, I'm from Red Hook, Brooklyn,
Okay.
New York. Originally, I transitioned and moved to Park Slope, Brooklyn, at a young age due to my mom's, being succumbed to the crack epidemic.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Like a lot of black families were, right? Well, she's good now. She's been clean. Shout out to my mom, Rosalind Chalmers. But I grew up in Red Hook initially, and then my grandmother took custody of me and moved me to a middle class neighborhood in Park Slope, Brooklyn, and it was kind of a culture shock.
Okay.
Moving from the hood to a middle class neighborhood, being around different cultures, hearing different languages, different ethics, things of that nature. So I had to transition, but it wasn't easy because I wound up like falling into the criminal world early on. Having that freedom to go to school on my own, nobody walking me to school, me, going to lunch breaks, and it's not in the cafeteria, you actually go outside the school.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I started fucking around with certain people, and, I started smoking weed, and it got to drinking, and then shoplifting, car theft. Like, my rap sheet is crazy, like, from early on. So, but as far as who Champ is, I'm a person who just has overcome. Over the last 20 plus years going in and out of prison, unfortunately. They call me a recidivist.
The recidivist, okay.
And I'm an overcomer. I'm an achiever. I'm a person that people could look at me and say, yo, if he could do it, then I could do it. Because I know that the mind is way more powerful than your physical. And I've been able to use my mind to my advantage.
Copy. Now, tell us about the longest bid you've did, and if you could tell us why, and was that the beginning of the change for you?
The longest bid I did was my last one. So I did 4 bids. Actually 5 if you count juvenile. So I was in juvenile from 96 to 99. I did what they call Lincoln Hall. It was like a non-secure detention facility. They let you come home like once a month and stuff like that, but I kept getting into trouble, so I would come home here and there. I wound up escaping from the non-secure facility and making it back home. And
You ran out and jumped on the train?
yeah, I figured it out, man. Like we used to go out on like what they call that shit, like field trips.
Okay.
So we go to the movies, we'll go ice skating, roller skating, stuff like that. And I have a photographic memory, so I used to always remember where we was going, what roads we took, things of that nature. And there was this one time, this was in June of 98, summertime, I'll never forget. And this, Lincoln Hall was cottages. So all the cottages are named after trees. So I was in the Elm Cottage, right? It was about 60 of us, 30 and 30 in 2 dorms. So they told me I wasn't gonna go on a home visit the next month because I got caught smoking, right? So I was like, you know what, fuck that, I'm out of here. And I got a couple cats to come with me. Like, it was basically like an uprising, right? Like, we all out of here, pack your shit, we getting up out of here. So we packed our shit up. All of us went out on the road, nighttime, it's thundering, lightning. I'm talking about like everything possible that can happen on this night for us not to get to our destination happened. Trees falling on the road, lightning, dudes getting caught by the state troopers on the road. But I was smart enough to dodge it because obviously God, the higher power, was like, I'm gonna get you home. But you're gonna learn some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Along the journey.
Yeah, you're gonna learn about this journey. And essentially I wound up getting to the Metro North train station. I hid in the bathroom the whole ride. Got to, 233rd White Plains Road.
X, yeah.
Got off the train, and keep it real. I got off the train, I needed some bread. You know what I'm saying? I had no money, so what I did, I went up in the auto mechanic spot, went up in they locker room, took money out of their wallets, and headed to Brooklyn. I got to Brooklyn, I got with all my little crew that missed me, and we started causing havoc. You know what I mean? It even got, this how bad it got, bro. I was in a pizzeria around my way. I had been, they call it AWOLing, absent without leave. And I've been AWOLed for about 3 months. And I just happened to go to a pizzeria across the street from the crib I lived in with my grandmother and my aunt. And they walked in the pizzeria. They walked in the pizzeria and see me, they tried to grab me up. Yo, you gotta go back. You're wilding out here, this, that, and the third. Yo, get off me, da-da-da. And I ran out. And I see my grandmother crying, my aunt crying. Like, it was a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, but I still ain't learned. And I wound up getting caught up, and the way I got caught was crazy. So I had this thing where I would, like, my rap sheet is, like, based on, like, stealing, like, burglaries, stuff like that, unfortunately. And I had went into this restaurant in Soho, no, in the Village. And I went downstairs, got into the employee section, took some money out the safe. The safe just happened to be open. And when I was about to come out, the owner and workers was coming downstairs. And they see me. When they see me, you know, they start yelling in Spanish and stuff like that. And I'm trying, like, I'm a little dude, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to, like, break off for them, but they overwhelm me. They tied like a napkin or a towel or something with, like, some type of liquid on it that makes you pass out. It could have been bleach or whatever, pneumonia or something. Tied me up with that shit, and I passed out. And when I woke up, I was in Spofford.
Wow.
I was in Spofford. They said I took like 80 grand. Wow. You know what I'm saying? In my head, I was like, yo, this is my last lick, and I'm going out of town, so I'll never get caught again. But that didn't happen, and I wound up getting more time inside of the facility I was in for AWOL and catching a new charge. So then there's a whole bunch of shit that happened after that. But to talk about my longest bid was the 7 years I just did. I came home May of 2021. It actually was the most, if this is a word, learningful bid I did. Because I got my education.
Right.
I got my bachelor's degree in liberal arts. While I was in there, I was in Fishkill Correctional for the whole time. And also, this is where YKTV Magazine came to fruition, you know, the biggest social media magazine across the prison systems across the country. Shout out to Mr. Gyro, the creator. So it was learningful, and I met a lot of people while I was in there. When we started the magazine, we were competing with another brand, which I'm not gonna name, because it was like a sledgehammer to an ant. Mm-hmm. Took them out. And I started linking with different dudes that was connected to artists out here in the free world. So they see the magazine, you know, I got samples and all that, like, yo, check this out, and everybody jacking it in jail. And from one of the first people I interviewed over the phone was Benny the Butcher. I interviewed him over the phone because I was in there with one of his peoples in the housing unit I was in. Shout out to my man Lavelle Jones, Doug. And he was like, yo, you gotta get on the phone with Benny, bro. He gotta get in front of this magazine, da-da-da-da. And I was like, all right, cool. So the deal was that his brother has his own clothing line. Shout out to my son, Lavish Jones. Shout out to Buffalo. And he was like, yo, you put my brother in the magazine, I'll get you Benny, da-da-da-da. I'm like, all right, it's done. So I did the 2 interviews over the phone through my partner, Mr. Gyro. I had to transcribe, took some dope pictures, and then shit just started moving from there. Uncle Murder came on board to help us promote his 2019 wrap-up at that time. And a plethora of other artists came along. Busta, Doughboy, Casanova, you know, Free Casanova 2 times. Amani Caesar, like, the list goes on and on. So that was my most learning for. I learned about business, marketing, advertising, presentation, etiquette, like business ethics, all that shit.
Yeah, I think etiquette, if etiquette is a word, of business ethics.
Right,
Those are key components,
right,
that will make you, not only help you learn and grow, but will also determine if you can be considered either an asset to us or a liability.
Absolutely.
You know, and I'm learning that myself now. You know, when greeting certain individuals and you know what I'm saying? You want to act like you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want to act like you know too much. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But you want to know something so you can keep up in conversation.
Right. That's why you got to ask a million questions.
That's
too.
why you got to ask questions. That's I was getting to that. That's why you got to ask questions. So you would say that at that point in time, your transition on your journey through entertainment, that's where it started.
Oh,
Or-
yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you get down with? Shout out to Math Hoffa,
Yeah, shout out
Mike's
to
brother,
my big brother, Math Hoffa, man.
and all the fellas up there in
All
Mike's
the
brother
fellas, shout out
opinion.
to Bigger, Mecca, Chastity, Aaron, KO, KK47, Gap Murder. Yeah, shout out Graph. Shout out to everybody that's a part of the whole movement of my expert opinion show. So you said, how did I transition?
Yeah. How did you transition, and what was that experience like for you?
It was almost like, I'm gonna keep it real, like it was almost like something I wanted. Like all this time, like, you know, from my last bit, just delving deep into who I am and what I want out of life. It was something that I almost expected, but not like this, right? Like I met Math through a mutual friend of ours. Shout out to Shaw Newell. Me and him had spoke over the phone. Me and her was doing some stuff together, and she was like, "I know a perfect person you need to link with." And I was like, "Who?" She was like, "Math Hoffa." I'm like, "All right, cool." So she got us on a call. We spoke for a little bit, and then I just happened to see him at Made in America in Philly last summer. And no, he didn't know what I looked like, so we was in the Duce Lounge.
Oh, so you guys didn't know each other growing up at all?
Nah.
Okay,
Me and Math
okay.
met last year.
Okay.
But I followed him. Like I followed battle rap. I knew who he was. So, and I knew about the show. So when we met, he was like, I'm like, "Yo, I'm Chinx." He was like, "Oh shit, what's up, bro?" It was like we knew each other for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And I was explaining to him, you know, what I do as far as the magazine, a little bit about my back journey and stuff. He was like, "Yo, come to the shop on Tuesday." This was a Saturday. Come to the shop on Tuesday. I'm like, "All right, cool." I went to the shop and never left.
Okay.
I went to the shop and never left. Like that was, like I said, the Tony Yayo and Uncle Murder interview, which like went viral. And I was just like blessed and grateful to be in the room. You know what I mean? And being that I worked with Uncle Murder before, and I knew, you know, a lot of people around him, Yayo and stuff like that. It was cool. It was all love. You know what I'm saying? It was a great vibe. And from there, he was just like, "Come back again," and then come back again. You know what I mean? And then we just started talking more, you know, tell me, "Yo, pull up on me." I'll pull up on him. "What you think about this?" I asked him what he think about certain things. And we just made it work. He was like, "Yo, I forgot, what was the first episode I sat in the chair? I think it was Al Bial's interview. I first sat in the chair. He was like, "Yeah, sit in the chair for this one." And I've been sitting in the chair ever since.
That's what's
Word.
So, you know, and this is very interesting, this question. And I definitely need your honest opinion.
Oh, man.
From 7 years ago, right,
Mm-hmm.
to now, you know, New York is known for its originality. We're known for being original. We're known for being creators. We're known for being different and not caring about nothing else. But the music scene, you know, we have, and I'm not saying we're biting, you know, New Yorkers, we have our own twist on it, but drill music is starting to take over. And you were away at the time where it was just coming into play.
Right.
So we just left out of the tight pants phase with the Tendo belts and the Sonic the Hedgehog t-shirts.
yeah.
I never got into that.
Yeah, me neither.
You know what I'm
Me
saying? I
neither,
never
yeah.
got into that. You know, not that it's, you know, everybody has their own unique way of putting a twist on things.
Right.
But when you came home and you saw what you saw, how did that affect you? Did you, like, you know what? Maybe I need to go away for not say
No,
go away
hell
for,
no, I
no,
didn't
not
think
go
like
back
that.
for 2 more, but maybe I need to just, what the hell is going on in this place?
No, so I'm going to keep it real.
But
You
not
gotta-
go back there, but you know what I'm saying? At least,
Yeah, get out of this environment
Exactly.
for a while. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Nah, for me, it was, you got to remember, I was in a jail that was close to the city,
Okay.
right? I was in
Fishkill.
Fishkill, so I was about an hour away from the city. So you got the young boys pulling up and they taking their greens. You know what I'm saying? That's what we call the uniform. They taking their greens and they getting them knitted and they making them tight. They wearing certain kind of feats, you know what I'm saying, Supremes. You know, New York prisons, to me, compared to all other prisons around the country and no, it's the easiest.
Oh, really?
Facts. This is me talking. That a nigga that did 4 bids in and out that motherfucker. I seen the transition of prison and how it goes, but New York State is democratic. So there's a little bit more leeway and freedom. You get 35-pound food packages from home. You know, you get to spend $75 at commissary every 2 weeks. You got visits every weekend. You know what I'm saying? And it's all contact. So a lot of the young boys that was coming in over the years, I seen how shit was transitioning.
Right.
Dress code wise, music wise, and we had access to like Hot 97, 105. So I heard how shit was changing. I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, I'm gonna keep it real. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. When I first heard Pop Smoke, I was like floored. I was like, yo, what is this? Because I heard other drill rappers, but I couldn't understand what the fuck they were saying. Right? They was like rhyming off beat. But his cadence, his voice, that girl in his voice made me more attracted to his music. I'm like, who is this thing? He got to be like 6'9". Not 6'9" the rapper, I mean in height.
In height,
right? He got to be a big dude with a voice like that. But I was able to like transition very easily. And then with JPay, you know, you're able to buy music. And it's all the newest music that everybody's listening to out here on Spotify and Apple Music. So I was able to keep in tune with the times and see how it was transitioning. And me, I also make beats. So I'm always listening to new music to see how the sound is transitioning. So it wasn't a thing for me where I was like, oh man, this shit is crazy, I gotta get out of here. I understood the game and how everything just evolves, but it also comes back around because the drill shit is kind of prevalent, but listening to the radio, you hear a lot of artists sampling 90s music now. You hear them sampling the 90s music, you know, you hear Lola Brooks records, what's her name, Ice Spice, Lil TJ, A Boogie, like all of these artists, their producers are sampling shit that we used to listen to.
The original sound.
The original sound, right? Whereas somebody like us that are producers will sample some shit from the 80s or the early 90s. They sampling shit from the early 2000s and late 90s now. Right. So it's coming back around and it doesn't have that BPM of a drill song. So I see it slowly shifting right now with the top 20 songs that's on the radio. It's not all drill music.
Right. I think I started listening to it hard and I hear a lot of lyrical pictures within the music, within the sound. I like Lola Brooke. I like her. I like Ice Spice. My favorite at one point was Lotto. I still like her as well. But you know, the reason I asked that because we don't get that opportunity to build with those who actually knows the sound that we are accustomed to. You know what I'm saying? And when you explained it, you know, they don't know the BPMs, the beats per minutes from the sound. You kind of feel like you're being left out of music, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand that.
You know, I don't want to, you know, I put on Power 105. I hear them like, nah. Hot 97, 107. Then I go to 107. Then I go back to 94.7. Now I'm still listening to the 2000 music. And that's selfish in a sense. You know what I'm saying? But it's interesting the way you
can't stay
it.
stuck.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Your ear has to evolve with music as well. Like, especially if you're a musician or a producer, a beat maker. You have to evolve with the music. And at the same time, you can stay in your lane. Right? So like Math. Math is a exceptional artist. Right? Like, I've been in the studio with him many nights. He makes amazing music. But he makes music according to what he likes. Right. And we know any artist who makes music that's passionate about the music they want to make have succeeded. Okay. Look at Outkast. Right? And there's a plethora of other artists who they stay in their lane. You know, and then you have the other artists like Drake, who says, fuck it, I'm gonna go to this international region. I'm gonna go to this genre over here, just so I could make myself omnipresent in all these genres of music. was about being passionate about what you want to do and sticking to that shit.
That's a good way of putting it. I appreciate it. Um, Drink Champs. You guys just recently did an interview with Drink Champs. Shout out to Nori.
Shout out to Nori, DJ EFN, Mike Booth, Ching Bing, Shampoo, YNVS. Shout out to all of y'all, man.
Well, definitely. What was that experience like for you, man? And
it was surreal.
Did you get a chance to meet Nori prior to the interview?
I met Nori there. I mean, I've seen Nori out and about when he's in the city. And you know, we spoke, but it was just like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Because of my relationship with Shampoo. And but never like in an intimate setting like that. So when we got to Miami, we had some running around to do, and then we went to the location, and that's when I got to like we got to sit and like speak to Nori. And for me, it was surreal because, and I didn't even get to like speak about this during the interview. I'm not gonna say I didn't get to speak. I didn't talk about it, but Nori was so influential in my like criminal career. Like it was crazy.
Blood
bro. Like,
money.
Yo, exactly.
That's what this life leads to.
TONY, you know what I'm saying?
Still
Banned from
hard.
TV, all of these records, like, and I grew with him from an adolescent, and then him talking about like how he was in Spofford and all that. I related to him more than anybody, him and Al Capone. So to meet him and actually sit down in this setting years and years later, and it's on his platform, and I'm with Math and the co-host, it's all love. But I was overwhelmed with happiness and gratitude. I was just happy to be there. Then to get the flowers,
Right.
you know, on the show, and I'm like, yo, this is what it's about. Somebody asked me a couple days, well, yesterday, you going to the Grammys? I'm like, nah, I got one already. I'm good. I got my flowers from Nori. I'm
Shit.
straight. I don't need to go see everybody else get awards. Say half an hour out the day, I sit and go through all my shit.
Yeah.
My DMs, my requests. I go through everything. I respond to people. I repost. People ask me to repost stuff. I do all of that. You know what I'm saying? So when I see stuff, I'm like, all right. And I'm not gonna lie, I do go to Math for advice on a lot of things. Like I said, that's my big brother. He's been doing this for a while. So he's way more learned than I am in the media game. So I always ask him, yo, what you think about this, bro? What you think about that? You know, I have no problem asking for help or knowing what to do. Same thing with my partner with the magazine, Mr. Gyro. Like, I have no problem asking questions.
Copy. Thank you. Totally understand. Let me ask you, how does it feel, man, to hear firsthand accounts from the actual sources? I watched Little C's when he was up there and he was talking about the big situation.
Little C's is crazy, bro.
Yeah, French Montana, when he explained those situations. What was that like for you?
Overall, well, let me just say Lil C's, that's my brother. I fucks with him. But he was like tap dancing a lot in the interview as far as answering questions and stuff like that.
When you say tap dance, like going around?
Going around the questions.
I would say, sorry to cut you. I would say I think he's been talking about for over like, 20-some years, possibly?
Yeah, and telling the same story so it gets redundant. I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. I agree with you. But it's also like, I feel like when you're invited, you know, to a platform and you come with Big's daughter, you know what I mean? And there's certain questions asked, and they're not off the wall questions, you know, just answer them. But unfortunately, everybody don't think that way. And I understand where C's was coming from, you know what I'm saying? He was a little lit, you know what I mean? But he did show up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he did, you know, he did do the interview. Could it have been better? Of course.
Yeah.
Of course it could have been better. But that's my brother. Like Frenchie and everybody else, it's just amazing. It's amazing to sit there because prior to me being on the show, I was interviewing people for the magazine. So I interviewed Bobby Shmurda, I interviewed Rowdy Rebel. Like I had them in the space that I managed in Harlem. And we sat down and we talked in length, and Benny the Butcher as well. And so I know what it feels like to get a one-on-one interview from somebody that you follow, that you like. But to sit in that setting on my Expert Opinion show is a whole different feeling. It's a feeling of like, I made it. It's
Yeah.
a feeling like I
Right,
made it
right,
type shit.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm always grateful every time I walk in that barbershop. And or I see on the group chat that this is who we got next. It feels great. It's a wonderful feeling.
Right, right. For us, you know what I mean? Because, you know, that'll be something huge for us. I'm sure, including yourself. You know, we were shorties when when you hear about all the stories that they either talk about in their rhymes or how they made certain songs, who was in a studio, how they put such and such beat together. I say that to say this. I was just watching Rakim interview, and he was saying that he made the doom 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 that
Yeah.
beginning beat, and I
Yup.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't,
yeah, I
and I was
seen that,
trying to
yup.
figure out who actually made that, and he made that.
Yeah.
And
You would've
explain
thought it
how
was
he
Eric
made
B.
that, and he took the sample, and it's crazy, and that is a key part in that movie Juice.
Yup.
Just that beat alone, and
Doom, 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 doom.
that's
doom,
it.
doom.
Once you
Yeah.
hear that, you know what it is.
Yup,
You know what
know
I'm
the
saying?
ledge.
And I think that, you know, giving people their flowers and you know what I mean, recognizing them for certain creative marks and points, that's primarily important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's very important,
It
especially for
absolutely
us.
is. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Not just us being fans. Well, yeah, us being fans as well, because we still to this day, you could have 1,000 movies on the television, I'll still put Juice on. 1,000 new, and I'll put Juice on and say it word for word for word. It's like Martin, you know what I mean? Word for word, do the beat in my head and put my hood on and act like I'm Q. So that's,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
It's very influential.
Very,
Yeah.
very influential.
But
Cool.
see, I just want to point out like the difference when you talk about doing like interviews and stuff and sitting with people and delving into like how records was made and what was the ambiance and the energy going on in the room when classic records we love was made. What we do at my expert opinion show is more so delve into the story of the person.
Right.
That's why the interviews are so long, because we're going through a whole chronological order of how did this all begin until this point. Talk to us about it. You know what I mean? And for the most part, guests come on the show and they are open to talking about it because they watch the show. There's no foul, no play on our end, anything like that. It's all for the viewers.
Right. That's what's up, man. That's
Yeah.
what's up. Champ, what's next for you, man? You know, life story, movies, biopic, documentary.
Yeah.
You know, your story spans back to when you was 14, man.
Yeah.
You know, we hear about a lot of people who talk about their lives, but we don't actually get to see them in person. You know, what's next for you?
So we working on some things right now as far as like the magazine and stuff like that. Trying to work out some deals with Apple and Spotify. I got a meeting on Wednesday about that with some people. As far as the show is concerned, my expert opinion, I'm about to start like my own YouTube page and start putting out content of my own, mostly, you know, telling my story from the prison standpoint, you know, talking to other brothers and sisters who've been in my situation, successful people who are still trying to figure it out. Like, it doesn't matter. We're gonna keep, as far as my expert opinion, we're gonna keep doing what we do, keep building. Make sure all y'all out there don't just watch the show, make sure y'all subscribe. Not only to my expert opinion show, but also to Tapealert. Make sure y'all just not watching it and liking it, like subscribe, hit that. It don't cost you no paper unless you was a mother hater, right? So just continue to get great guests on the show, continue to build, expand, connect ourselves with different brands to bring them more exposure. They bring us more exposure. You know, Math has a label, DFG, Destined for Greatness, with his artist Hands, Brooklyn Hands. So that's going to be coming soon. And it's going to be insane. It's going to be
Big
insane.
things coming.
Yeah, big things coming.
Copy.
So as far as myself, like, yeah, I'm definitely interested in like a biopic or writing a book and stuff like that, because my life was crazy. It was crazy growing up and going through a lot of stuff that I went through to get here. And that's the thing I want a lot of young brothers to know, and sisters, is like, don't look at the result of it, but ask the question of like, what happened
Happened.
that got you here? because it ain't all peaches and cream. It ain't like I just woke up one morning and I'm working with Mav Hoffa, no. Or I'm working with my brother, Mr. Gyro, with this magazine, nah. I went through a lot of shit to get to the sugar. A lot. You know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful to be alive and knowing that God has a bigger purpose for me.
Kept guiding you.
Yeah.
Facts.
And it could be the same thing for any person who's been in my position as far as incarceration. Figuring out what it is that they want to do while they're inside, taking advantage of the time, getting an education, learning a certain trade, or whatever it is you're passionate about, and coming out here and executing.
Copy. If there's, well, I'm sure there is, share with us the most important piece of advice you received and who you received it from and why was it important to you?
I'm going to keep it real. The best piece of advice I received was from a book.
Okay.
A book I read called The Answer by Murray Smith and John Assaraf. Book about marketing, psychology of marketing, laws of attraction. It's like all this stuff combined in one. And there's this phrase that I always say. It's a mantra I have. I wake up every morning and say, good is the enemy of great and extraordinary is mandatory. Good ain't good enough no more. Great is the enemy of good. And none of them can compete with something that's extraordinary. So how do you make yourself extraordinary? That's the question I ask myself every morning when I get up. And what makes you extraordinary is stepping outside of the box and not caring about what people are thinking around you, who you are, what you've been through, what you do now, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. It's about you separating yourself from the general consensus and being that special person that they'll be like, yo, that's some extraordinary shit. How did that happen? You know what I mean? And it's all about getting in tune with yourself first, knowing who you are, what your capabilities are, and how you can execute. My thing is, the goal has to be executed no matter what. No matter what, bro. And that's a lot for some people. Mm-hmm. Some people ain't ready to go through those trials and tribulations to make some shit happen. But if you want to be extraordinary, the way you show it is like, I'll give you a perfect example real quick. I had a photo shoot to do yesterday, right? I had a location. I had my team of photographers and everything. This is for the magazine. Come to the location. It's with this artist. Shout out to Dion Young. And we go to the spot. We got everything set up. We about to shoot. Dude comes in and says, yo, y'all got to leave. I'm pissed. Got to leave. There's something else that's going to be happening here soon. You know, regular white privilege shit. So you see a bunch of black people in the spot. We got liquor. We got the TV on. You know what I'm saying? We got the ladies around. You know what I mean? So they basically was hating. So knowing the position I'm in, I can't afford to get into no shit. So I'm like, you know what, bro? You're right. No problem. But I had to rack my brain because I'm like, this shit has to happen tonight. No matter what. I made a call. I went through my call log. I'm like, fuck. Who am I going to? And I found a person. And I'm like, yo, bro, I need to use your spot. Like me and 8 people, we about to come through, just do a photo shoot. I just need 2 hours. All right, champ, no problem. And we executed and had a great time. Everything went according to plan. But if I was one of them dudes that didn't believe extraordinary wasn't mandatory, I would have been like, fuck, yo, I'm sorry, y'all. Yo, here go your bread back, or whatever business we dealt with, yo, we got to do this another day. Even coming here, you know what I'm saying? I had a little struggle, like I said. Unfortunately, my grandmother got COVID right now. I could have called y'all and been like, yo, bro, my grandma's got COVID. I can't make it. But my thing is execute a mission. If it come out my mouth, I have to do it.
You have to do it. That's a copy.
That's what I would say.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Yeah. And, you know, we wish Grandma well. If you had any advice for the youth out there, man, share something inspirational for the youth, man, because your story is very, very deep. It's very interesting.
My advice for the youth is to, man, it's so much, bro. So much. To narrow it down to one thing is like, it's hard because there's a lot they're going through right now. I understand. Right, that whole transition of becoming a boy to a man, adolescence, you trying to figure it out. You're easily influenced by everything outside of you to move and direct yourself a certain way. And I had that problem too as far as acceptance. And I bumped my head 1,000 times, unfortunately, in order to find some level of success. And what I would tell them is speak what the fuck is on your mind. Talk to your guardians. Talk to somebody that you love. Talk to somebody that you trust, that you can express yourself to, right? Because the thing is, we have a hard time with communication. That's what it was with me. I didn't know how to talk to my uncle, my grandmother about how I was feeling, what I was going through, what I was struggling with, right? And if I did talk to them, then things would have turned out differently in my life. But for those that are like at-risk youths, that are going through a lot of things, communicate with someone you trust, that you know you can get the proper wisdom, knowledge, and guidance from. Like, don't be afraid to talk about how you feel. If you don't talk about how you feel, you're gonna act it out in other ways. And those ways lead to negative consequences. You'll end up in jail, you may end up dead, unfortunately. But if you can speak about it, it will work. Speak with someone that you trust that can give you that guidance. That's what I would say. Because that's what I wanted. That's what I should have done.
You hear it from the champ, man. Champ, thank you for stopping through.
Yes, I appreciate you.
Tapealert family, appreciate you.
No doubt.
Shout out to you guys.
And I want to say one more thing. Make sure y'all tap in with YKTV Magazine at YKTVmagazine.com to get all the magazines that you need for your incarcerated loved ones. We're in 46 states. Our newest issue has Math Hoffa and Al Bial on the covers. There was something else. Also, if there's any independent artists out there that are looking to advertise inside of the magazine in order for people to hear their music on the JPay platform in the prison system, holla at us, holla at these brothers, DM them, DM me, and we can get you inside the magazine for some advertisement and get you on the JPay platform to sell your music behind the wall across the country. So you can follow me on Instagram at Hustle Real Hard, no freaky, _82. All right, so it's just the way I said it is the way it's spelled. Hustle Real Hard _82 on Instagram. You can see me on Math Hoffa's My Expert Opinion Show. On YouTube, it's at Math Hoffa. It's at My Expert Opinion Show. Same thing on Instagram and all other platforms. Just check out our episodes, man. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. I mean, don't just look at it. Hit that subscribe button. It don't cost you nothing.
Cost you nothing.
And do the same thing for Tapealert, man.
Yes,
Keep
please.
popping out here. I love their news.
Thank
I like
you.
how I seen a few posts y'all put together today.
Yeah.
That y'all posted. I was like, yeah, I like this.
Tapealert on the beat.